Welcome, horror fam.
He's back!
We don't have to do it anymore.
Oh my god, I'm so happy. Sorry,
To
Mike.
HHN 365, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. My name is Mike, and I'm here with my co-host Duff
Hey, Mike's back, guys.
and Jess.
Yay, we're all here together for the first time.
We are here for the first time. Yes. Yeah, Jess, this is our first time officially as co-hosts together on this podcast.
I'm so excited. We've done collabs before, but we've never been co-hosts together here. You just said that. Yeah. It's been a long day. I'm sorry. It's my last week of work at the daycare, so I am checked out.
On today's show, we'll live in the spirit of the horrors of Blumhouse and discuss the pros and cons of mashup houses. As always, you can check us out on social media at Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and TikTok now at HHN365 and HHN365 Pod on TikTok. You can always leave us a voicemail at 407-906-4134. Duff, before we get into our topic, we have some news and rumors.
Yeah, one, I heard a rumor that Mike was coming back, and then there was news that Mike's back.
I am back. Yes.
Also, news for you. I know I noticed a little struggle. We have a TikTok now, and our voicemail number changed.
Yes. Oh, is this the first time that
I think no for you, yeah.
Yes.
for you, yeah. No, but actual news and rumors, yeah. We actually got some stuff to talk about this week. Look at that. One thing on the Hollywood side, we talked about this a bit last week. The Nope set that's been coming up, Jupiter's Claim, that old West kind of looking town. What's that going to be? You know, kind of leaning towards. It looks like it's going to be for the studio tram tour. And they've officially announced that's what it's going to be, opening July 22nd, along with the release of Nope itself. So it sounds like it's going to be a blast. I'm sure it will be implemented into Horror Nights on the tram tour in some way, but it is actually for the day tram tour itself.
Okay. So Hollywood's adding to their tram tour. That's exciting.
Mm-hmm. And it's not Fast and Furious. Do we think they're going to put live actors in it like they have at the Bates Motel for the day?
I would hope so, right?
Same.
It feels like a wasted opportunity not to.
Yeah, just a couple people. I don't know. Old West attire. I really don't know what's going on in that movie yet.
Yeah, no, it's hiding its secrets pretty well, to be honest.
When does it come out?
The 22nd.
Oh, is that that's the same day it's on the tour?
Yep.
Oh, look at that synergy.
Gotta love it. Look at Universal. Moving on from Hollywood, that's all we got there. A few things in Orlando, although I guess this could be both coasts technically. They're bit of a leak, guys. Bit of a leak. So potential to a spoiler, maybe. So don't listen to the next maybe 2 minutes if you don't want to hear potential characters on merchandise. Is really what it is. The Studio Screamers bag seemed to leak for this year. As you remember, last year we had Series 1 of the Studio Screamers. It had Frankenstein, it had Jack, it had Caretaker, it had Chance, it had Gilman, it had Chucky, and it had a bag, and it had shirts, and all that kind of stuff. It was a whole series. The bag itself, like the backpack, leaked. And there's some interesting inclusions on this bag.
I like them.
I like them too, but it is interesting.
Yeah, there's you have Frankenstein, you have the Bride of Frankenstein. Okay. You have Michael Myers. Makes sense, of course, with the announcements, right? You have what looks to be Pumpkin Lord. Ooh. You have the director. You also have Casper, the friendly ghost.
Yep.
Which I get it if it's cute. I guess it'll be cute. I mean, I want a Casper figure. I'm not gonna lie. I'll take that all day. But just interesting Horror Nights inclusion in any form.
This is a deep cut, but did either of you guys do the weird Casper, the friendly ghost attraction back in early days of Universal? Like the Christina Ricci Casper?
I did not, and if I did, I am way too young to remember.
There was a Casper attraction
I
at
believe
Universal?
there was. It was like one of those, like, just around for a little bit. It was probably just like a 3D movie or something, but it was like definitely there was like a Casper. I'm gonna have to research this because I may have made it up, but I'm pretty positive.
If you did, I love you for it because I love Casper. Everyone loves Casper. But Casper, my maiden name is the same as the character Casper's, and I had a cat named Casper growing up, so there's a whole other bond with that. So I love it. I'm sorry. I know people are saying he doesn't belong at HHN, but I don't know. I know Chucky makes more sense. I will agree with Erin. I saw her tweet at Crazy Shark Lady. Chucky does make more sense than Casper at the event, but Casper is something I could see having like a Beetlejuice-esque house. I think it would be a weird choice because it's not scary at all. But we've talked about Gremlins before. I don't know. I think not the same level, but Casper.
Yeah, and
Yes.
again, it's a merch line at the end of the day. I don't think this is leading to anything more at the end of the day. So,
No, they just needed another character, which is weird because they repeated Frankenstein from last year.
that is strange. I don't get that.
Don't love it, but I will say this bag is different than the bag from last year from Series 1. Series 1 was a drawstring backpack. This is like a pseudo Loungefly. Like it's modeled like a Loungefly, but it's not made by Loungefly. So this is like more of a I collect Loungeflies. So like this is something I've been begging HHN to do Loungeflies. So I feel like we are getting so close with this bag. Because Universal already carries Loungeflies and does park exclusives.
Mm-hmm.
And we already got told that Roosevelt's is going to be doing seasonal collabs with Universal. So we're expecting an HHN shirt this year, at least.
I completely forgot about that. But yeah, no, I mean, we're getting to the point where these bigger brands and these popular styles are starting to hit the HHN merch, right?
Yeah. And that just leads to Funko Pops too, because guess who owns Loungefly? Funko.
Oh,
really?
Yeah. So like I said, I collect Loungeflies. That's like I collect Funko and Loungefly, and Funko bought Loungefly a few years ago.
I mean, smart.
So, I mean, this is just kind of like we keep saying synergy and like joking about it. That would be fantastic brand synergy between all of those companies.
I'm waiting on it.
Money. But also Wolfman and Dracula are on the bag, which where's the mummy?
That's a good point.
And yes, to clarify, it was called Casper on Location, and I'm watching a video that I believe was filmed in 1995, and it does kind of look like one of those kind of thrown together like walkthrough attractions,
exhibit kind of.
Yeah, like an exhibit, kind of like like Disney does those a lot, where they just like get props from the movie and like just throw it together in a soundstage.
What was that terrible Pirates of the Caribbean one at Studios?
Oh, yep. And then it was Chronicles of Narnia, and the witch would come out.
Yep.
On her little balcony. And then it was Jack Sparrow something or other.
Those were so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely existed in. I feel like when it was open, I probably did it, and I just have no memory of it.
I was in diapers in 95.
I was going to say, yeah, in 95 I was 8 years old, so...
No, I was a baby, so there was no way.
Yeah, so yeah, Duffy would have been like an infant, right?
And at 95, I was 3. Yeah. But I think it probably lasted a bit past 95, I'd assume. I think my first trip to Universal was 96. So...
Don't want to research anymore.
Yeah, it's not that important. It is an HHN
Guess who
podcast.
Owns the rights to Casper?
Universal?
DreamWorks.
Oh, well, close enough.
Yeah. So I think it all makes sense. I don't think we're going to get a Casper house. That's just me, bullshitting.
Speaking of, cool, I know, Jess, you saw, I believe. Mike, I don't know if you saw, but BioReconstruct takes photos, as we all know, of the parks and stuff. And he showed, specifically, this was a picture of the new soundstage. I'm sorry, the new Parade Warehouse. And someone photoshopped like a Casper, what they called a vinyl, onto it. And
they freaked Facebook out. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
We're not getting Stranger Things, but we're getting Casper the Friendly Ghost. That was what I saw.
So anyone here who hasn't found out yet, It's Photoshop. It's not real. Don't
It was
worry.
done pretty well. They like blurred it out and
Yeah,
everything.
they made it blurry like the picture. It was pretty impressive.
It got me for a second. I was like, maybe they just had like a Casper event backstage or something.
Someone just having a laugh.
What if Casper on Location is returning?
And the location is the new parade building.
You never know.
Boom.
Wow.
Not to talk about Casper anymore, but I tried to show Casper to my daughter, and she was very bored. It does not age well, unfortunately.
Have you tried?
Also, no.
Yeah, it's not really like kind of kid friendly either. Like it was like a kid movie, one of those kid movies that we watched as a kid. But kids
the
these
90s,
days are way too
was,
ADHD for it.
Yeah, it's kind of boring and probably a little spooky at points. And
yeah.
Have you tried Casper Meets Wendy with Hilary Duff?
Ooh, I think you might like that.
That is my favorite Casper movie because I was Wendy.
Casper Meets Wendy. Okay, is this on like this like? Let's see.
I don't know.
I find that?
I used to rent it. I used to borrow it from my library on VHS. So don't ask me where you can get it right now.
At the library on VHS.
Yeah. Hey, back in Broward County.
I didn't use my daughter's name, did I?
Broward County.
Like you live in like Lake County or something.
Hey, I was right near Davie. So the horse capital of Florida or something.
That's true.
What did you say, Mike?
I said I didn't use my actual daughter's name, did I?
No, you did not. You did not.
Safety. No, okay, good. Okay, well, I'm on the Casper Meets Wendy Wikipedia page, let's get back on track.
Yeah. So outside of the Studio Screamers stuff, I guess this is news. Lighting rigs, very, very apparent that they're. I won't say apparent. Very likely. That's a better word. Scare zone lighting rigs have popped up in Central Park.
Ooh.
I think we have the first bit of what we'll call HHN construction. Visible HHN construction of the year.
It's coming. It's coming quickly.
It is. I think we talked about this last week or the week before, how I think it was July 18th or 20th, or so, around that date is when the bigger props started to show up in New York for Seek and Destroy. So we are very close to that point.
Yeah, we start seeing the stuff pop up in the parks.
We'll see if it's that early again. But exciting times.
Yeah, I remember taking a little stroll with you to like check out some of that stuff.
Oh yeah,
remember that?
Oh yeah,
like when they started like putting stuff out in the parks, and we just like took a little lap around the park to check.
That sounds so romantic.
Yeah, we held hands.
Very nice.
Oh, it was good. Did you guys share a freestyle cup too in Central Park?
I believe it was like the height of like COVID. So I believe I caught COVID right around that time. So maybe that's why, because we were sharing freestyle.
Oh yeah, that's probably what did it. Sorry, my bad.
Oh. Well, if you want to see a TikTok or want to check out footage from the park, I might be going next week. So check out our TikTok.
Yeah.
At HHN365pod.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, that's enough with HHN for the news and rumors part. Howl-O-Scream did make an announcement. This one is going to be all returning items, but what they call reimagined. That's going to be what I think was the best house last year, Beneath the Ice, the Scare Zone Frozen Terror, Alive in the Ice, and the Tormented Bar, all returning.
I will never forget my frolic through Howl-O-Scream Orlando. That was a interesting night. I enjoyed that event.
It also created a hell of an episode between you and Nico. So. I'll never forget it either, even though I was not there.
Wow, I need to go back and listen to it now.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
I did love that event, though. Jeff, we went a couple times.
We did.
The worst part was the drink. I won't keep talking about. I think it's Mike's turn to try it this year.
I will. I'll try.
Okay. For an old fashioned, baby.
Yes.
Well, never mind. No, I'm not.
It'll be a blind taste test. Just put something in front of me and just.
Oh.
I can make that very gross.
I don't think any of us would be friends anymore. That
It
was the
has to be
game.
something you purchased from the park. How
Oh,
about that?
I know. Like I could still make that very gross.
Really?
Oh yeah.
As long as it's not that weird slushy from a couple of years ago at Halloween Horror Nights that was like themed around, what was it, like waffles?
Oh, the syrup and
Oh,
waffles.
oh, that was
That was
so
Ugh.
bad.
I don't like the universal like slushy drinks because they're very icy. They're not. I don't know. Those flavors sound like they need to be like a milky base, and it's
Hmm.
like it's a water base.
Yeah, yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, they're
Slushies should be tart too.
Yeah,
They
like
shouldn't be like, syrupy. They shouldn't just be sickly sweet.
no,
Yeah.
thank you.
I feel like I shouldn't remember Mike sipping on a slushy from 2019 as much as I do. Yet I
No.
remember it like it was yesterday.
Oh no.
The time was 2019. The cue was Graveyard Games.
Oh God, graveyard
It was
games.
a walk on, and I
I think it
tried
was
to
in the
finish.
trash before we touched graveyard games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Ugh. No, thank you.
Anyways, that's it for news and rumors. So let's get to some. Well, I guess not even the main segment yet. We got a couple things first.
We do.
We do. So one, we have a voicemail. Actually, we have two voicemails. I'm not gonna say why there's two voicemails. I'm just gonna let you listen to them
Yeah,
right now.
they don't need an introduction.
No,
Just
no. Yeah, here you go. Enjoy.
Hey y'all, what's going on? It's me, Carnage, again. I decided to leave a voicemail because I was listening to last week's episode with Jonathan from the Hotline on it, and I like having him on the show, but he said something that I took umbrage with. So, in reference to Nightmare Fuel over at Halloween Horror Nights, he was talking about how Hollywood over here needs a show like that, and I do agree. But then he said that Not Scary Farm could use a show like that, and what we're not going to do is have Elvira and Puppet Up Erasure on my favorite HHN podcast and Scream Queens ended. I am only half kidding. No, really, I'm kidding. No, I think the current show that we have on Not Scary Farm right now, Puppet Up, for a naughty, raunchy, nasty-ass improv puppet show, oddly fits in Not Scary Farm. It's a very strange sensation. Now, Duff, you've been in Not Scary Farm. I want to know if you enjoyed the show. Did you see it? Also, here is a little Room 101 for you guys. Shows at Halloween Horror Nights. What are we throwing into the room? They could be the giant stage shows. They could be the little tiny shows that were in the little scare zones. I'm going to put one in. Look, I like Chucky's Insult Emporium over here in Hollywood. What we can put into the room, though, are the racially insensitive jokes. Okay, so there's a little game for y'all. And what do y'all think of shows in general over at HHN? Okay, bye. I accidentally called this number again, but that's okay. I'll just leave another little message for you guys. We'll keep the show interesting. I don't want to make it seem like, I am actually upset with Jonathan. No, yeah, great guest. Love him. I will say I do appreciate his use of the word clocked. Yeah, and I thought that was funny.
I love Carnage so much. Favorite caller.
yes.
Yeah, Carnage. If you want to keep calling in like every week, we would not mind one bit.
Please. I'm obsessed with you.
I love his butt. Like you could hear it. He's like, but.
Sorry, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Apologize for that.
I didn't think it came off shady.
No,
Carnage.
it didn't.
No, you're fine.
I love it. I'm sorry. I can't stop laughing.
I don't know if Jonathan has ever been offended in his life. He's just such a happy guy. I think you're good, Carnage.
Okay, so I guess question one was, did I see and enjoy, if I did, Puppet Up? I did see Puppet Up. I thought it was, it was a good show. I think I agree that it fits Knots and that experience very well. I think like the coolest thing that I remember from it is it's like actually like the Jim Henson Company, like their puppeteers are doing it too. So it's very high quality puppeteering. I'm going to be honest. I think some of the comedy didn't fully hit for me, but overall enjoyable show, fits what that event is well. And then also, once again, a game of Room 101. So guys, we're talking about shows at HHN. What are you going to lock up in a room and get rid of forever?
Okay, I came up with one very last minute, and I'm happy with it. Should I go first?
Yeah. Oh, also,
Totally
we're not using AOV. That's low hanging fruit.
Yeah,
So
no.
Yeah, obvious choice.
So mine is, let's throw into room these half-assed opening ceremonies, and let's just do a real one.
Oh.
Let's
That's
just do a
great.
real, like a little 5-minute little bit every night. Let's do it for real. If you have to do it from like the up there, like the rafters and stuff, do figure out how to put on a little show for those who have stayed in like a 90-minute line to get to where they are, for those gates to really open. I know breaking down the door is really not a thing anymore with most people stay and scream, but for those who have to suffer through it, give them a little show.
I like that. That's great,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
I love it.
Jess.
Okay, so maybe this one's a cheat. I don't know. Maybe you like this one. I hate the pre-recorded lip syncing scare zone mini
Oh,
shows.
that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay. I give them a fucking microphone. They're all capable actors. You can hire, what is it? They're called like Mike A or Scare Actor A's or whatever, who can have live mics like Janine and Ghostbusters and the singer who even could only sing certain things in Boris. Case Files, whatever it's called. But yeah.
When you said that, Jess, the only thing that came to mind is Zombie Kill of the Week.
God, it would have been so easy. They didn't even. I'm not even gonna get mad. I'm not even gonna get mad. It's so lazy. Just give them a mic. It also makes it more authentic, and there's a repeatability when it's not the same thing over and over again.
You have such talented characters. You can put a mic on them. What are you afraid that they're going to drop the F-bomb on accident or something? Like, come on. Like, just give them a mic. Let them improv a little bit. Let them show their, show their why you hired them.
And I know,
you have some very talented people. I'm on payroll. I know you do.
There are people who kind of knock the Vamp 85 show, but I think that's a great example of what you can do with people on mics, right? It was always a live performance, and I thought it was always nailed. Exactly what they were going for every time.
Yeah, I wish there was more variety in who the host was in that. But like, look at the magic that was Shady Brook in 25? I suck at this. The one in New York. Yep. Most of them had mics, or they could just scream into the crowd. The costume show or costume contest, she had a mic, or whoever was hosting it had a mic. Just give them a mic. I'm also not shitting on scare actors in houses, because that's a trigger. That's different. Yeah. You have to kind of do that. But in the scare zones, it's just lazy, I think.
Right, or Vanity Ball, like that was some of the best times of that event. Is just hearing those characters, get to shine, and get to improv.
They fully hammed it up every night.
Yeah. They were so good. You had some really talented people there. Just give them the mic and let them have at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just and I wish if Vanity Ball had a house that they would allow more live mic'd actors in the house too. That's my fear, is that we're gonna get not the same magic because of that.
Oh yeah. No, those MCs really made that scare zone what it was. The whole cast, the whole cast of that scare zone really, but definitely the mic'd MCs.
Well, speaking of lazy. Since I had the literal exact same answer as you did, like exactly to a T, and I didn't have a backup, I'm pulling something out of my ass here, and it's something I've mentioned before, and it's kind of more specific. Nightmare Fuel, great show, loved it. Calm down on the fucking fire. It is 85 degrees. There's a heat index of 92 at 11 p.m. I do not need flames for 15 of the 22 minutes.
Oh, you don't like your eyebrows singed?
Yeah, not in that sense, at least. No.
It's too hot in that stadium arena, whatever.
It's always hot. You're packed in already, so it's going to be warm regardless. And like, there's going to be flames, and I enjoy some pyro. That's fun. But it kicked so much on that show. And the thing is, there was I forget which one that would occasionally be missing. But one of the scenes in the performers would be missing, and they'd replace it with more fire.
I only only saw it twice, and I never had to see that version.
It was literally 90% fire. And like, I think the thing is, I think the fire performers were amazing. Absolutely amazing. But it's not even just like they were spitting fire like out of like piping around the stage itself, and it just non-stop fire in your face, and it
So
was like,
much fire.
this is unbearable. Like, I think my blinky cup is melting. So that's all. Just kind of relax with the fire a bit. I love pyro. I love the fire performers themselves are great. I love to watch them. Just it's literally painful after a while.
I agree.
This year they're just gonna have a fire show. It's like a fountain show, but it's just flames.
The lagoon is just gonna be a pit of
Oh
fire.
no. That's fine. Just make sure it's an open air like area where I can get some air. Like,
No, they put it.
Didn't they sort of do that at Terra Corinthus?
I mean, yeah, sort of. I guess so. Yeah.
The fire pits scare zone.
Yeah.
Where they just,
oh yeah. Can I give an extra one? I have a controversial one.
Yeah, go ahead.
People might hate me for this, but
God.
the last couple years of Bill and Ted, put it in Room 101. Not older Bill and Ted. Not like when it was good, but like the more recent years, like even though I only got to see 27, but it was all right.
I agree. Besides 27,
I liked it.
I legitimately think 27 is one of the best years I've seen.
Okay.
Like, period. But I literally hadn't liked it in like maybe like 5 years before that. I'm gonna be honest. Like, it was getting not good and not enjoyable. The jokes were just bad and felt lazy, and and I think 27 kind of brought back more of the formula that made it popular and what it was.
Yeah,
So
I liked it.
I agree, barring 27.
Okay, I will accept that. But 27 is the only one I actually got to see. The other ones I watched on YouTube thanks to the Wild Stallion channel. But
rest in peace.
Yeah, it. Oh my god, yeah. But no, just yeah. We can lock it up. We can bring it back if it's 27 or better. But that's no.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree. I take solace that a show I loved went out on a year I enjoyed. So I will take that rather than it coming back and being like 25 or 6 was,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I guess
What do we got next on the docket?
I think it's time for like the actual main segment. Oh no, it's not. What am I talking about? Mike, we're gonna pick on you a bit. I believe
that.
just came on. We looked at this the other day. Just came on episode 78. This is currently episode 96, and we have not heard from you. So there were a few things we're missing opinion-wise. I'm not going to make you cover everything we've ever talked about, obviously, but there have been 3 house announcements.
Like last year's event.
Last year's, yeah, exactly.
Basically,
don't worry about that. Not important.
Hey, I never got to cover 30 on Scream Queens because we were on hiatus. So maybe Mike and I need to do a review episode.
Is next week an HHN 30 review?
Hey, maybe to prepare for 31, we reminisce on 30.
Okay,
I would be down.
We'll see. For now, Mike, we just kind of want to hear your opinions on the 3 house announcements that have been for both Orlando and Hollywood. Same thing.
Sure.
So we'll just kind of list them, and I give me some thoughts as I say them. So the first one, of course, I know you're going to be excited for this one. Universal Monsters Legends Collide.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not be excited? I am a sucker for the Universal Monsters houses. I think the last 2 have been some of the best IP houses we've seen in quite a while. I mean, Universal Monsters from 2019, and then as I believe it was lower on my like list of liking it, but I mean, the Brides was amazing as well. Like, this, what a wonderful house. I think we just got to do it so much because of HHN Light that it kind of dropped a little bit for me. But I mean, this one too, with getting the IPs that we're focusing on here, it's going to be pretty awesome. Well, we are really going to get to see the Wolfman, Dracula, and the Mummy kind of go at it. It's pretty great. I'm a sucker for the Wolfman. I don't know if I've ever talked about that before.
No, I don't think so. Because I was going to ask, like, What team? What team you picking?
I'm Team Wolfman.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Do I have to take Dracula then?
No, you can come to Mummy with me if you want.
Well, I'm Team Bride always because that's my girl.
Bride's not. That's not how it works.
I don't care. She had her 2 years.
You can be Team Bride for the Screamer collection, apparently, but
Series 2, baby.
yeah. But yeah, no. I mean, I knew you'd be excited for it. So, Team Wolfman, got it. I'm Team Mummy, and I guess reluctantly, Jess is Team Dracula.
Well, I'm just gonna pick him because nobody else did. I feel bad.
No.
Does he seem like the
Duff and
kid who
Jess.
wasn't picked in kickball?
Probably. I mean, yeah, actually, because he can't play in the sun, Duff.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
God, he-
Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
So, for the listeners, I have to admit that I have not really been following too much about these announcements. No, do we have like a little bit of information of what this house is going to be like?
boy,
Oh boy, do we?
do we, Mike? We went to a whole panel that talked about it.
It's like I'd planned this little bit. What type of info do we have, or have you guys already talked about this on the show?
We have, but would you like a small rundown?
Yeah, just
so
a
you
little
can-
bit.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, I think it would be really cool if they did something very similar to like the Icon's house, where you have like a different winner every time in the last room.
Well, that's Jess. Do you wanna?
Sure. So, Mike, it's 2 parts. This is the first time they've ever done 2 parts, one on each coast. Part 1 is Orlando. Part 2 is Hollywood. So part 1, it takes place in Egypt, I guess, from all the pictures we saw. I'm not sure if it starts anywhere else, but it definitely takes place in Egypt. And what happens is the Wolfman is kind of the main character. So good for you. And he's at his wit's end. He's killed everyone he cares about. And a mysterious benefactor sends him a letter saying there is the, what is it called? Oh my God.
The Amulet of Ra.
Thank you, Duff. And with this, he can control the sun, which then means no full moon and no more Wolfman. So he goes to Egypt, and of course, he's digging, and at the last second, turns into the Wolfman and kills the crew that's digging with him. We find out the mysterious benefactor is actually Dracula because he wants to be a daywalker and control the sun. So trying to get him to do his bidding. And then part 2 in Hollywood takes us to London because Dracula actually owns a shipping company. So we start on the docks of London.
Interesting.
Wow, the Mummy erasure in that. Jesus.
I'm sorry, the Mummy, and it's not Imhotep, it is the Caris. The Caris. Yes. So I'm sorry, the Mummy is also very important because it's his amulet that they're trying to steal from. So he is also wreaking havoc, and it takes place in Egypt, our part. So it's all about him anyways, Duff. Calm down.
Right.
Well, I'm just saying you didn't mention him.
That was not a short explanation.
I'm very excited.
We got that at the panel from Mike Aiello. It was great.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Did Mike say it? One of them said it. I'm sorry.
I don't remember actually.
I'm sorry. It was TJ, Charles. It was somebody.
But yeah, no, I'm excited. What next one? What was the order of these?
The next one was going to be Halloween, the 1978 classic Halloween.
Yes, I mean, this one I don't think it really needs to be said either. I recall saying on the show that the 2014 Halloween house brings me back such great memories. I recall when I worked at Universal, I was in events, and so I got to spend a lot of time just kind of around that house and in that house and like setting up and like I remember taking a break like on the facade, just like chilling out there, sitting on the stoop. So yeah, no, it's yes, I loved to see this back. I hope it's a little different. I hope we get to see, a fresh take on, I think a house that most of us think back fondly about, for sure.
Well, boy, do I have news for you, Mike. Also, at the HHN panel we went to, Mike Aiello said this will be a completely new take on the same film. So. And also, it will not be in a tent. It'll have a larger space.
Okay. Yep. Awesome.
And this is the first time they've gotten the rights to the music for the commercial.
Oh.
That was a big deal.
Mike Aiello was very excited about that.
Yes. I have a picture of him making the most expressive face I've ever seen.
When he was talking about the music.
Yes.
And the final announcement that we've had so far, hopefully that won't be for long, is the Horrors of Blumhouse, which will now be Volume 3, technically, not in name. This will include The Black Phone and Freaky.
Yeah, so this one I'm interested about. I'm on the fence about it, I have to say. I have not seen either of these movies, but I am going to watch them because I have to. But Freaky is more like a horror comedy, isn't it? It's
correct.
Like it is doesn't quite fit necessarily what I can like what we've seen before in a Blumhouse mashup house.
Happy Death Day, to be fair, also horror comedy.
Well, that was let's pretend. I think most people try to pretend that didn't exist, right?
Okay, fair enough.
And then as for the Black Phone, I know nothing about this film. I really do need to watch it. I don't think it was. Did it catch the zeitgeist the way they wanted it? Was it or was it just kind of they're trying to make fetch happen with this one?
People are very much enjoying the film, myself included. So
okay, all right. Yeah. So it is. So it is kind of gaining traction here.
It definitely is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to watch both of these films and then experience this house.
All right, awesome. And I guess you are, for the most part, caught up on Mike's takes. So,
Mike's takes.
We need a jingle. Jess, you got a jingle? Can you get an outro jingle?
They don't put her on the spot.
This is what I do. What are you talking about?
Mike, I'm so glad you're back to defend me because he's been doing this to me for how many episodes now?
Almost 20.
He's trying to treat you the way we treated Nico, and it's just not.
It's okay. I killed Nico. I kind of deserve it.
Yeah, fair.
R.I.P.
Anyways, I guess we can get to the main segment now. And going back to the Horrors of Blumhouse, the most recent announcement, of course, it is a mashup house. Going to have 2 separate Blumhouse movies involved, and there's quite the history, whether that's IP or original, of mashup houses at the event, right? So I thought we would cover kind of what we liked about them, what we didn't, the pros, the cons, and maybe how that will lead into how we'd feel about this house this year.
Yeah, I think mashup houses, the concept, are pretty polarizing in the community, right?
Mm-hmm. For the most part, I'd say so, yeah.
I would say that it's for me anyway. I think back of them. We've had some good, the bad, and the ugly, right? When it comes to
before we get deeper, let me just, in case anyone's wondering and maybe doesn't recall some, let me give some examples of like possibly why polarizing. So we have the Horrors of Blumhouse, of course, both Volume 1, Volume 2. This also includes Slaughter Cinema, which is a very highly regarded house. You know, there's many options out there.
Yeah, Scary, Ohio.
Yep, Scary. You know, it's
H&R Blood and Guts.
Technically, mashup of
would
holidays.
We also count American Horror Story and Stranger Things because they mashed up seasons?
Yeah, absolutely. Technically, didn't Insidious also?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, there's
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead had multiple of the houses where they mashed up.
Yeah,
so again,
sure.
IPs, originals, good, bad. There's many examples, but I think we can kind of look at all of them and say like specific pros and cons of what makes them good and what could make them not so good, right?
Yeah.
So Mike, if you wanted to continue on, I just wanted to make sure everyone was fully on board with exactly what we're talking about. Example-wise from mashup
and I
houses.
think I was more just doing a lead-in. I wasn't necessarily had anything else to say, but yeah, I think we've seen some really good ones. We've seen some not so good ones, and we've seen some ones that I think most people regard as stinkers when it comes to mashups. But I think that it I don't think it's necessarily the style. I think it's the execution. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think these can be done really well, and they can be done poorly based on the quality and how quickly just the design of the house. I don't think it's necessarily the type house. It's not like necessarily like 3D where people think that there's just never been like a cool quality 3D house. I think
Hey, hit me.
we've had really good mashup houses, and I don't think it's, while I think it can be not your cup of tea, I think most people can agree we've had some quality here when it comes to mashup.
Yeah, and one thing I like very quickly looking at a glance, I kind of thought like mashup IP, I'm typically not going to like. Mashup original, more likely to like. Then I realized, American Horror Story, really
Yeah.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Insidious, very well regarded house. Also you have Scary on the other spectrum of an original that I thought kind of fell flat for me, unfortunately. So at first glance, not exactly what I thought it was either. So I think there are just more direct pieces to what creates it. And I think one thing that I will start out with, and I'm going to go back to Scary here, is I think cramming too much into one house. How many different original houses were featured in Scary? Don't answer that. It's fine. It's a lot. Too much,
Don't count it.
basically. Every room, for the most part, was a new house.
Yeah.
And I think, obviously, it's a mashup. You're going to need that to happen eventually. But every room doesn't let anything build up. It's like, here's, one scare. That's your house. One scare. That's that house. Done. And I feel like it makes it almost disjointed and jarring. So yeah, I mean, because I think there are parts of Scary I liked. I think some of the sets were pretty immersive. I think some of their scares were really well done, but the whole experience was brought down because there was no continuation of a story. Is probably the biggest part for me because there was no time for anything to build within it.
Yeah. Can I piggyback off that? Because I had the same one pretty much, but I also added in Jack Presents 25 Years because that was another one, really high hopes going in because it was an anniversary house. It had a lot of things represented that people loved. And then the feedback was just kind of meh because it was too much and there was too much to look at and too much represented.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think also this kind of shows the difference of like opinions, not from me, but that is widely regarded as a all-timer for the most part.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, people love that house.
I know. There's people
I know.
who think it's literally one of the best houses ever, and I think a lot of that is getting to see those properties that they didn't necessarily get to see before, or getting to see them again. But I fully agree with you. I think it probably was not a very well-balanced house whatsoever.
No, it looked like 25 years threw up on it, which like, and that's just for me who's only seen walkthroughs.
Kind of what it was, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to go, but like all the walkthroughs I've seen, it was like overload from what I saw. And then something that other people have an issue with on anniversary houses like Scary is they don't understand it if it's their first year. So they have nothing to relate to. So that's a huge con on mashup houses for anniversary years. It's great for the fans, but the new people you're trying to grab are never going to relate to it.
Yeah, that's my big kind of comeuppance about it too, is that it's just like, it's fan servicey, so you're definitely appealing to a certain demographic, but most of the people who go to the event, it's going to be like, they come every third year or something, they come every other year. They don't really care about your history. They're here to enjoy the house and to be told a good story. And so if you're going to mash up a bunch of things that they don't know, I think you have to do it in a more creative way, the way Icons did it, where they're telling a story. It's all kind of connects, but it's also a bunch of kind of fan service as well. I think that is the better way to do it, right? It all kind of connects together.
Absolutely.
In a more cohesive way.
And I was even going to give a different shout that balanced many more properties than Icons did very well, and that's HHN 20's The Hollowed Past, which set everything within a continuous place, which was the warehouse. And that's how they implemented all the different properties and all the different stories, but it all took place in one location, so it made it a continuous story while experiencing all these different properties. So I think if you can take those and build them around something else, so more I guess, Easter eggy, kind of.
Mhm.
More in your face than an Easter egg, but also not, look, you're in this place again, More like,
Yeah.
here's this stuff that you experienced at one point in a new location. Um, so it can have that. Again, Mike, like you said, people like to be told a story, and Scary can't do that. 25 years can't do that. The Hollowed Pass did that.
You couldn't even tell where you were in Carrie half the time in Scary unless you were like, oh yeah, I'm in this house, so I'm in this part of Cary, Ohio.
Oh yeah, I mean, you had to be a super nerd. I mean, there's a good chance for listening to this podcast. You are.
Yeah.
To have any idea what was going on in that house, and even then, there are times where myself or I was with other people who know quite a bit of Horror Nights, and you go, well, what is that again?
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough to just toss that many things in and try to make everything stick. Again, without having some vessel to maybe carry them. Get it, carry? Uh-huh.
I didn't know if you were going for that. It felt like low
Absolutely was
hanging
not.
fruit.
No, it was not actually. Complete accident.
You just kind of fell into that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that is the biggest con for me, and the easiest way they can mess up is just too many properties. I think it has to be balanced so well, and from my experience, it usually doesn't happen. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the new scene every room is what gets you. I think you need to kind of build up a little bit, right?
Mhm.
I think you need a couple of rooms and then move on to the next, and then there needs to be some sort of, I think Slaughter Cinema does it pretty well, where there's like, a cohesive transition between each one, because you're like going from movie to movie, and there's leads up to that where it's like, okay, here's this next movie, here's this next, we're moving into the next thing. I think that's where you do it well, as if you have that transition into that, like, okay, here we're switching now. Those are the ones that do it better.
And I think that's exactly why I'd use Slaughter Cinema as like an absolute shining example of how to do it. It handles a decent amount of different stories, I'd say, but it puts it in a place. It's a drive-in. You're going to watch the movies. There's a direct start and end to each movie.
Right.
They give them enough time to develop and end and move on to the next one. So you get to experience everyone separately and feel satisfied moving on to the next one, while all still being within one place at the end of the day. So there's nothing jarring. There's nothing that makes it super disjointed. Everything just meshes really well.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Did we have anything else?
Oh yeah, sorry. So I feel like the big one is like big IPs always will bring in more money, more people. And like I said, more people means more money. More money means better houses for originals, more money into detail and costumes and makeup. And then next year, and maybe one year, we'll get to an 11th house because of it or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's the big one that we always talk about.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
that's the next kind of milestone, I guess, that whether we think it should come or not, will probably end up here one day, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Beetlejuice. Yeah. I didn't think I was going to see it for a while. I don't know why. And look, we got it. Probably the year we shouldn't have had it. Maybe I'll talk about it next week. I still haven't opened that can of worms on my feelings on the Beetlejuice house fully. One day.
I'd love to hear them.
It's hard.
We have 100th episode coming up soon. I just,
Oh.
Maybe we'll figure out something to fit in there. Just saying.
Okay.
So guys, we're talking about mashup houses. We have a Blumhouse house announced this year. I think the Blumhouse mashup house is a very touchy subject, I think, in the community. Let's dive in here and kind of dissect the Blumhouse house, and how can we do it better. I think, me personally, this sticking to two properties type of the ones that are kind of we're not going back to the Purge. We're just sticking with new ones that are fresh, that we have not seen before. I think this is an exciting way to do the horrors of Blumhouse. You're only doing 2. You're not getting, we're not getting a bunch crammed together. What do you guys think? Do you have some on this?
I definitely have thoughts on this because I jumped to the same exact thought you did. 100. I think 2, that's a good balance. You can, fully express each of the properties involved. I think it sounds like a good number, right? Then I thought back to the 2 Blum houses we've had, and HHN 27, which is highly regarded as the better of the 2, was 3, whereas 28 was 2 and is pandered as one of the worst houses of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but weren't those 2 like
I think it's
the movies that was not necessarily the houses? It was Happy Death Day, and it was like a crappy Purge. One of the no, and I love the Purge, but that particular Purge movie, it was regarded as like not being very good, right?
I mean, yeah, that's definitely a factor, I'd say. But I also don't think. Obviously it's tough to judge 28 on balance because Happy Death Day just fully throws things off because same scene over. Right. That changes things a lot. But also overall, obviously, again, there's other factors. But 27's was not only the better house, it was balanced so much better.
Yeah, but wasn't that more? I feel like in 27, the finale also helped because it put all the characters in kind of the same setting again. It was like that neon kind of looking.
Yeah.
And I think that helped it. I think if we're going to do multiple movies, I feel like, I don't know if I liked it because again, I only saw a walkthrough, but Hollywood, they did what it was. It was, the one about the Lucy Hale.
Unfriended, right?
Didn't they? They did that one and maybe The Purge. And I think they did 3, but they also added in the scene with like the girl from the intro to Blumhouse, and I feel like that also helped it because there was like a common thing. I don't know.
They did Truth or Dare. Truth or Dare. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. Yes.
They did the whole thing where they decided to like recreate the intro, like the Blumhouse intro itself.
I liked that. From what I saw,
unique. Yeah, that's very unique.
I like that too.
Did that make it? I don't know. But does that also tie to maybe things don't have to be so separate, and for a moment or a room you can kind of jam everything together to make it more exciting?
In 2017, that's when they did Happy Death Day and The Purge. It was 2018 we got Happy Death Day.
Yeah, Hollywood did it in 2017.
And Hollywood did it in 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also such a weird choice because I don't remember. Did the movie come out like 2016? It had to 2016 or 17. So
and Sinister, I believe, was in that house as well. Didn't they have like cram Sinister into 2017's Hollywood?
They did because I think we had Sinister on both coasts. But our Sinister was so much better.
Did you said Hollywood's?
Yeah,
I think no. I believe theirs was only Happy Death Day and The Purge in 2017.
Oh yeah, because we got like the copy.
Quote, no. I'm sorry. 2017 did have Sinister. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, because they had the Butler scene where they're from the second one. I think the second one.
I feel like I have to go look this up to confirm, but I
someone's
believe
yelling at us right now.
Someone who really knows Hollywood better than us is like Jonathan is yelling at his.
I've never been, so I know nothing but YouTube.
Okay, confirm. Sinister was 2017 in Hollywood.
That's a weird. I don't know. That's weird. Happy Death Day, Sinister. That's a lot.
Yeah, and The Purge. Yeah, no, it's
ours made more sense with Insidious and Sinister. It was Insidious, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Insidious and Sinister. Like that. I don't know. Those characters I feel like can exist in the same world.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely a better fit for sure. I mean,
and also
there's nothing that's changing too much.
Yeah, and maybe I don't know. I haven't seen either movie yet, but the characters from Freaky and Black Phone, they look dark enough to me that like they'll make it work. I don't know. We'll see. I know Freaky's a lot lighter. I am aware of that.
I will say, outside of the character that you see, like on the merch and such, the darkness of the characters definitely disappears after that.
Okay.
I will say, I think the tone of Freaky can be brought pretty dark. It has some pretty sick kills, to be honest. Like really impressively gruesome kills. So I think if they want to take Freaky, obviously I'm sure they'll leave some of the comedic elements for sure, but I think they can make it a pretty dark version of that film, and I think that's kind of why I have some hope for it.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what they put together.
So I was going to ask also, favorite mashup house you guys have experienced, and do we all have the same one?
I don't know if I have a favorite because I didn't get to experience Slaughter Cinema, or else that would be my favorite. But because I know I would have loved that one. I've experienced it via YouTube plenty of times, but I don't know if that counts. I would have to say Scary. I think I like Scary more than I think that General Sediment. No, Icons. I think I mean, if we count Icons,
I'd say it counts. Yeah.
Okay, then Icons for sure. I would say it's one of my favorites.
That was going to be my answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so my issue is I only went through Slaughter, I think, once in 28 because I didn't live up here yet. So I was only going once or twice. So I only got to go through Slaughter once, and I didn't have the best run. So I love it. I love the camp, but it wasn't high on my list for 28 because my run wasn't great, and that's my fault. I couldn't go a lot.
I have another answer. I just thought of Universal Monsters. Universal Monsters.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah,
I was gonna say Scary Tales from 28 because that I hadn't been through Scary Tales, and that it's same with Icons. It's like a thing I had been waiting forever to see, and it's a whole yeah.
Oh, so I'm the different one I was trying to like find a different answer because I didn't want to pick the same as everyone else, but it's Slaughter Cinema. I mean, it's an all-timer for me, and I think, again, I talked about why I thought it's so great and works perfect as a mashup earlier, so you know why. I don't have to explain.
Yeah.
Amazing house. Any other points anyone wants to bring up on mashups at all?
So. I think we should mashed it.
Mashed
properly. Yeah, it's no longer a baked potato.
I have one pro for things we've been begging for in the community.
Okay.
Mashup houses give us a variety in characters, which gives us a variety in race, gender identity, body type for scare actors to be cast. So
that's true.
For sure.
That's a big positive. I feel like that comes out of it.
Yeah,
that's it.
No, absolutely. And then also, if you want to also look at like icons, then everyone also got their icon, I guess you could say. Everyone kind of got their favorite. No one was left out on that, unless you're a really big fan of a Bloody Mary. I'm sorry.
Hey, but not everyone got their first run through on opening night to be their favorite icon like we did.
That is true. What a moment.
I'll never forget it, Duff.
I literally won't, because I remember the noise you made still.
I have a video of it. I don't want to talk about it.
But yeah, no, I think there's... I feel like we mainly talked about the cons because I think the pros are kind of, they're obvious. There's variety. Like, I think, what else do you have to say about the mashup? You get a bunch of variety, and if it's done well, a great house with variety. Like, come on.
And it sells tickets. I think, we talk crap about the Blumhouse houses, but those houses for those years, I think probably drove a lot of, and Stranger Things and American Horror Story, these big IP, Walking Dead, these big IPs that have a bunch of different stories to be told very quickly, sell tickets, and it is why most of the the casual fans are there, is to see these stories told to them very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely, you're right. I think it there's cons not only for us but for the company that wants to make money.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Well, I guess that's all we got for the mash.
The Monster Mash?
I was trying not to say that, but I couldn't think of anything
How
else.
could you not?
I know. I tried. I really tried. That's how.
All right. Well, do we have anything to the tease that's coming in the future, HHN 365 wise?
We booked our Hollywood tickets.
Oh, we
Ooh.
booked RIP tour. Yeah, we're excited. Very
Nice.
excited.
It's happening.
Jess will be making her
Jealous.
first pilgrimage over.
Nice. I wish she
Mashup.
can join maybe next year. Well, I
Yes.
always say that, but
We got to make it a thing.
A full
Yes.
365 trip next year for sure.
Yes.
for sure that would be cool.
I'm very excited.
There's other stuff I don't think we're ready to say yet, though. Not
Yeah.
quite. Maybe next week. Maybe next
Things
week.
are coming.
Keep
Things
your
are coming.
ears tuned. And no.
Eyes peeled, ears tuned,
Yes.
wallets. Never mind.
Your ticks
Ooh.
talked.
Oh,
Wallets. Ooh.
oh. Mike, get us out of here before I get in trouble.
Okay. All right. Well, as always, you can follow us on social media at Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and now TikTok. That is HHN 365 on the Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and TikTok HHN 365 pod. You can leave us a voicemail at 407-906-4134 and try to follow up those amazing voicemails from the one and only Carnage. Good luck. We'll see you on the streets.